Hey, what's going on there, folks? It is Earthmaster, August 17th, 2018, about 9:43 p.m. here, my time, in the sunshine state of California. I guess the smoky state of California, that is, lately. Still pretty smoky skies out here in Northern California, unfortunately, from Mendocino Complex fire and also the car fire up north near Redding, California. Just still a lot of burning up there. They don't expect really full containment until sometime, September, I heard. So it's got all month to burn and create these horrible conditions that we have to breathe and observe. Just not good. Anyway, going to do a recap on all the activity that's occurred over the past couple days here. It's been pretty active. We'll take a look at the earthquake 3D globe here real quick, and I'll show you guys all the activity that's occurred over the past few days here. It's been on the large scale. I mean, we haven't seen this type of activity in quite some time with all these 6 magnitude earthquakes here. What I'm going to do is add a few more days onto the earthquake 3D globe here, and it's pretty cluttered right now. So we're going to drop the magnitudes here just a tad bit down to about the lower 5 range, and take a look at where all the activity has occurred on a large scale view here. Over around Italy, they did have that 5.3. It's been a few days now, but most of the activity has occurred over here on the Pacific Plate region. I know the activity in northern Alaska is well off the Pacific Plate region, but there is an area where the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate subduct up here, which ultimately on a large scale view does provide a little bit of information. It does affect that region in a way. It may not look like it, but it definitely does, as one plate no doubt causes not interference, I can't think of the word. It does cause effect on other plates, and it could be 1,000, 2,000 miles away. I mean, it's one big jigsaw puzzle, if you will, the Earth, with these plate tectonics in motion here. Just one big crack of an egg that continues to advance and evolve into whatever it's forming, the Earth. But anyway, we did see a large 6.5 earthquake, very deep. That earthquake striking, I believe it was about 500-600 kilometers below the surface, 538 kilometers to be exact. That one's taking place there yesterday, early yesterday. And we did see 6.3 up here near the Japan region. These are all shallow quakes for the most part. No deeper earthquake on the north part of the Pacific Plate. But there's definitely a lot of activity, right? I don't think I need to point this out too much. It's pretty observant. It's pretty noticeable, including down around the Costa Rica region. They did have a sizable earthquake of a 6.1 magnitude down there. That one only striking about 15 kilometers. Most of these other quakes right here striking within that same range. There's 20 kilometers right there as well. Stuff up in Alaska, northern Alaska, with the redder rings indicating some older activity. This should drop off. Well, it's going to be dropping off here once I go back to 24 hours, but it's been a few days since that earthquake struck. And that one there, fairly shallow as well. We haven't seen too much in the way of deeper earthquake activity in the Fiji Islands region. We have seen a couple smaller ones, which have been, let me see if I can find them here. I don't even think they're on the map. So I retract that statement. We just haven't seen a whole lot of deep earthquake activity at all, aside from that 6.5 there near Indonesia region. That is rather interesting, I must say. Because normally, if you follow these videos, follow this channel, In fact, any earthquake channel, you will see that there's normally a lot of deeper earthquake activity in the Fiji Islands region. We just haven't seen that. So something definitely going on a large scale, noticeable fashion, that's for sure. This here is pretty much 5.0 and above earthquake activity over the last 7 days. Fairly active. And mostly, once again, on the Pacific plate over here to the north and also to the west. California, west coast, continues to remain eerily quiet. I mean, I'm just wondering, when's the day going to happen? When is it going to happen? Will it ever happen? It's got to happen, right? Pretty complex fault system out here with the Pacific and the North American plate there, and the San Andreas and the Cascadia subduction zone. It's all complex. There's a lot of pressure being built up out there. Question is, when is it going to pop? When's it going to have its day of glory, so to speak? I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. For now, it is the quiet region of all this activity that we've seen. Let me go back there. I missed this region here. This here is the tremor map from the pnsn.org website. Real-time tremor detection. Activity occurring underneath the Cascadia subduction zone region. It's specifically monitoring movement on a slow scale, slow slip. Not earthquakes, but slow slippage in the Cascadia subduction region from Vancouver Island all the way into Northern California. Right now, pretty quiet. I mean, you're seeing quite a few dots on here, but this is minimal compared to what we've seen before. Mostly, if I had to look at this, mostly confined into Northern California. A couple specks and spots throughout Oregon and also into Washington around Olympia and also Seattle, but nothing confined. And it's also looking like it's on a large scale movement, meaning that most of the region here is showing some activity. Normally, before, we've seen a little bit of activity here in the north. It would skip Oregon and we'd see some activity up here into Washington, which leads me to believe that higher stress and buildup is occurring in the Oregon region. But tonight, for the last 48 hours, it looks as though most of the Cascadia subduction zone region is showing some activity. So we'll keep an eye on it, and I do have a couple stations here on the live station view here that we can watch. One being the Mendocino Station here. This here is right at the area to watch for northwestern California near Eureka. And Alaska there looked like they have a pretty good sizable earthquake coming in there. We'll check that here in just a minute. And yeah, I think that's it for. I also got Hollister, California. That's along the San Andreas fault system right here. But I want to go over and check out this Alaska quake and see what that magnitude is. Looks like a 4.7 earthquake there that we're seeing on this station. That occurring at a depth of 8.5 kilometers, and the activity continues in the Alaska region. Let me fix this here real quick. Okay, I won't. This here's just 1 day magnitude, 2.5 and above. Still activity occurring in the Alaska region. I would like to go and set this to last 7 days. Yeah, last 7 days, 2.5 and above. So quite a bit of activity, right, in northern Alaska. We got the Brooks Range, mountain range up here, and also the North Slope. We did take a look at some aerial footage of the region up here, and we did see a few pumping operation type sites out there. whether it be fracking or oil. I know there's definitely oil going on, oil drilling going on, but these look like more fracking operations that you see flying over Texas or Oklahoma, you know, anywhere in those states. There are quite a few fracking type sites, but a ways away from all the activity, but nonetheless within that range of geographical location there. So it's hard to say whether that's the activity that's causing all this earthquake activity or not. It still remains to be seen, but for now I figured I would mention that. Well, once again, this is still just 2.5 and above earthquakes. This does not include all the hundreds of other ones that probably are being recorded. I mean, 472 earthquakes in this region over the last 7 days. 2.5 and above. That's big time. But with the magnitude that they did have up there, the magnitude of earthquake that they did have, it's common. It's common to see this many aftershocks, so we'll go with that for now. Let's check out the 1 day all magnitudes here real quick. 74. Is that right? 74? Yeah. Oh, it went down to 66. Okay. Kind of strange. But either way, still a lot of activity just occurring within 1 day here. It looks as though maybe it might be calming down just a tad bit. Let me jump out of here. Beaufort Sea. It's got to be some beautiful countryside up there, man. I want to go up there one of these days. I went up to Alaska in December. What a month to go visit Alaska, right? It was actually really cool. Sun came up around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it set roughly about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, I was down in between Anchorage and Fairbanks. Either way, beautiful area. It was almost surreal. It was really cool. And at that time, it was pretty warm. At least in the areas I was. I did experience a -6 below. -6 temperature up around the, what was that, McKinley or Denali? I can't remember which name it is now. But up around that region there is where I experienced, for the first time in my life, -6. That was pretty cool. And it was cold, let me tell you. But anyway, let's click back over here real quick. 7 days. We already checked this out on the earthquake 3D globe, but just wanted to show you guys the last 7 days, magnitude 4.5 and above, where all the activity is occurring. A lot of it's over here along the Pacific Plate, like I've mentioned, and off of it as well over here towards Costa Rica, and a little bit of action down in Chile as well. But once again, fairly quiet when it comes to moderate activity along the western coast of the United States. Taking a look real quick at the California and Nevada map of recent earthquake activity. Couple smaller earthquakes up here around Eureka. Nothing big. A 3.4 and a 3.2 occurring. But other than that, fairly quiet when it comes to California activity. Real quick coverage of the Kilauea Volcano right here from the USGS. The latest information on that. Current volcano alert level still sits at watch. And the aviation code at orange. Volcanic activity summary. Lowering alert level from warning to watch. So, according to these folks here, activity is continuing to dwindle. Let's see here. In light of the reduced eruptive activity over the last several days, HVO is lowering the alert level for ground-based hazards from warning to watch. This change indicates that hazards posed by crater collapse events and lava flows are diminished. However, the change does not mean with absolute certainty that the lower east rift zone eruption or summit collapses are over. It remains possible that eruption and collapse activity could resume. So yeah, they lowered it, you know, a little bit. They're feeling pretty confident that activity has come to a halt and that it will remain that way. You know, I can't see them lowering a alert level like that if they plan on seeing this activity pick up. So something we're watching. I did kind of go away from it when it comes to the webcam, but I will still update the information on the live stream there for a little bit, as it's still kind of a hot topic, but it is quieting down. What's it gonna do? Who knows? I mean, I'm not gonna predict it. Nobody can really predict it. Either way, it spewed up a lot of melted land over that time frame when it was going. So you know, maybe it's maybe she's done. Maybe that's it for a couple of years. Who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on it. But anyway, Yellowstone seismograph stations here real quick. A little bit of activity once again. No swarm. This is just some microquakes occurring over here towards the northwest corner of the park, as you can see right there. Yeah, so you know, if this had occurred all throughout the day and picked up in intensity, I would probably start to say the word swarm. But this is just some microquakes occurring, nothing big. This activity over here on this station appears to be some type of interference when it comes to this this area right here, this section down here. Let me show you. And the reason why I can tell is because it's definitely not being picked up. Well, it is, I guess, a little bit. You can see it being picked up on this station as well. Just a tad, couple spikes. But I honestly don't think it's earthquake related, because these other earthquakes are really sharp and showing up on not only these stations but a couple other ones as well. So something localized going on there at Hebgen Lake. Not for sure what it is, whether it's earthquake activity or some type of interference. It's hard to say. The rest of the park in general, pretty quiet. You will see those magnitude 6 earthquakes that we've seen showing up on many of these. The signature is right here. Let me show you guys real quick. This here is a magnitude 6 somewhere. One of the magnitude 6 that we've seen, and also another one down here. So they show up as a, it almost looks like an earthquake, but it's really not. We get P waves that travel in on this sensitive equipment, and it's, like I say, it shows up on many of them, and like this one over here as well. Some of these other stations may be set to a different sensitivity to where it's not as noticeable when it comes to picking up that activity from large earthquakes at a considerable distance. So, but anyway, folks, I am going to call it a night, I think. Make sure, please, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm not pretty sure what's going on with this thing. Looks like it may have froze, so I may have to check it out here in a little bit. But please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll keep you guys updated on any type of, look at that, is that a ghost out there or is that a guy? I guess that's a guy. I seen that the other night, just I happened to glance on here. I was like, wait a minute, that looks like a ghost traveling across the boardwalk there at the Old Faithful. But definitely a guy, just who knows what, maybe a park ranger, I don't know. But either way, we'll catch you all a little bit later. Hope everyone has a great night out there. Stay safe. Definitely have an earthquake plan no matter where you live. I mean, we're seeing definitely a lot of larger earthquakes taking place that we've seen in quite some time. So it's good to be on guard in times like these. Play safe out there on your Friday night, early Saturday morning, folks. Take care.